Hey gaming fans, so today's another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this one's just like a fun one because, again, I've been doing a few videos on this new alternate format that we've kind of gotten a little bit of information on that hopefully is going to be official, or to some capacity anyways. And I've done the common charity decks. I've done a couple of those where you only play with common cards. Now I was trying to wrap my head around the whole deck master format. Now that's the one where you choose a card to be your deck master, and it sits outside your main deck, and its effects are applied as if it is on the field. And then you can normal summon it just as a regular monster, and if that monster gets destroyed, you lose the duel. So based on what it's saying, in that I can keep my deck master's ability even though it's not on the field, I was trying to come up with what would be some really fun decks, and this one came to mind. This is a card that I've always tried to build a deck around. This is the Dark Eradicator Warlock. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by attributing one Dark Magician on your side of the field. Now that's not too hard to do. I mean, today you can get Dark Magician on the field pretty quickly, but still. When this card is face up on the field, which according to what I've read in that ruling thing, it's treated as if it is on the field, inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent's life points each time a player activates a normal spell card. So that's either player. So if your opponent activates a spell card, normal spell card, they take 1,000 damage. That's at least the way I read it. So I built this deck primarily to be all normal spell cards to really just damage your opponent, possibly even on turn 1. I mean, it's very possible to kill your opponent on turn 1 with this deck. So let's get to this deck list, because this is just absolutely ridiculous, but it's fun. So we got 3 Tremendous Fire. So basically, the idea is this does 1,000 points of damage to your opponent and 500 to you, but that doesn't matter. But with your Dark Eradicator out, you're going to be doing 2,000 points of damage to your opponent. So not bad. I mean, you draw your opening hand with 1 or 2 of these guys. That's like half your opponent's life points right there. Then we got 3 Restructure Revolution. Essentially the same thing as Tremendous Fire. Problem is, though, if you pull it late in a duel, it might not be as powerful. But turn 1, it's 1,000 damage, because it's 200 points of damage to your opponent's life points for each card your opponent's hand. So they'll have a full hand of 5, so that's 1,000 damage. So there you go, that's another 2,000 damage right there from that card. Then we have Meteor of Destruction. I put 1 in this deck because, again, you know, it's only good if you get it on your opening hand. Inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent's life points, but you cannot activate this card if your opponent's life points are less than 3,000. So this could be problematic later on if you've, say, done a lot of damage and then you draw this card. But, you know, opening hand, it's going to be another Tremendous Fire. Then one step down from Tremendous Fire, we have Ukazi, which is inflict 800 damage to your opponent. I mean, still, that's going to be 1,800 damage with your Warlock's effect. Then we got 3 Final Flames, which is another step down. This is only 600, but still, 1,600 damage to your opponent. Why not? And then for fun, we have 3 Sparks. Who doesn't want to win the game with Sparks? Inflict 200 damage to direct damage to your opponent's life points. Why they printed this card, I have no idea. It'd be interesting if they could create a card that would actually make this thing broken. But, you know, I don't know. It's just 200 damage, but still, it's hilarious. And with your Warlock's effect, it's going to be 1,200 damage. So why not? Now for some other spells. So I put in 2 Pot of Desires. So you're going to play this, do 1,000 damage, draw 2 more cards, and then do another 2,000 damage. So, hey, why not? You're going to banish 10 cards, but who cares? Then I put 2 Pot of Duality, just to help skim through your deck, just to grab some, you know, potentially, more threatening cards than what you might have drawn in your opening hand. Also, there are some cards in this deck that you can't, I'll show you soon. You can't special summon afterwards. So we got Toon Table of Contents, Toon Table of Contents, and Toon Table of Contents. Obviously, the idea here is you're going to play 1, burn your opponent for 1,000, grab the other one, burn for another 1,000, grab the other one, burn for another 1,000. Unfortunately, I do not own the Toon Bookmark, I think it is, which you could play also, because I believe Toon Bookmark would grab this card. But I don't have that. That's a more expensive card I don't have. Now for some protection, because you're not always going to go off on turn 1. And it is a normal spell card, so it does do 1,000 damage when you play it as one-time passcode. So I put 3 in here. This will just get you a creature on the field, a monster on the field for you to kind of defend with and maybe even attack with. I mean, it is it's a 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense token. You can only activate it once per turn. So again, you know, with your Pot of Duality, you know, you might not want this if you've already special summoned a monster. And then sort of the same idea, we have 3 Photon Sanctuaries. These summon 2 monsters tokens, but they're 2,000 attack and 0 defense, and it puts them in defense mode. So I mean, even if they just block whatever monsters your opponent throws at you, that's still an extra turn that you might survive. And if they don't destroy them, then you got a 2,000. You got 2,000 beaters. And to try and help with that, I put in 3 Nightmare Steel Cage, which is just a Swords of Revealing Light for 1 less turn. And they're normal spells, so you could play it. It's on the field, unless your opponent could destroy it. You know, you can save your monster for 1 turn or your own life. And of course, we'll have the original Swords of Revealing Light, so there's 3 of those. That will actually help with, you know, again, battle phase. You don't want your opponent attacking you. And you'll save your tokens possibly from attacks. And then to round out this deck, I put in a few traps. Secret Barrel, because, you know, again, that if you draw that turn 1 and you set it, your opponent draws for turn. They got 6 cards in your hand, and then you do 200 damage for each card in their hand. So you can kill them, you know, kind of do the finisher with the Secret Barrel. Because let's face it, on your opening hand, if you draw all 5 normal spells that you can play, that's 5,000 damage right off the bat without applying any of the other burn effects. And then we got 3 Reckless Greeds, just to accelerate into your deck, of course. So you'd you know, set that, and then on your next turn you would draw and then activate your Reckless Greed and then draw 2 more. Only do that if you're going to finish your opponent off, though, because you don't want to have to wait 2 extra turns if you have no cards in your hand. That would be kind of devastating. But anyways, yeah, that's the deck. I thought this is kind of ridiculous. Again, this is all, you know, speculative because I don't know the official rulings. All I've seen is that whatever was circulating around, I'm sure once Konami really gives the official wording on this stuff, you know, maybe this deck doesn't even work. But from what I'm getting it as, it treats the monster's effect as if it's on the field. So this would be pretty much your opening turn. You can almost kill your opponent. Anyways, hope you liked the deck. Throw some comments down below. I always like to know what you have to say. Hope you subscribe, and talk to you later.